I wanted to ask about Biden to begin with, about the debates tonight. Do you
Right.
think do you think that his health is up for debating?
Absolutely. I'm a healthcare practitioner. I practiced dentistry for 38 years, 4 years in the Air Force. I can tell you that this is a big deal. We're the we're the number one power on the face of this planet, and our president, if he's not with it, if he's not cognizant, if he doesn't have good judgment and wisdom, then that's a huge issue when it comes to maintaining the position that we've always enjoyed, really since the end of World War I or World War II.
Are you concerned that he'll be taking drugs tonight?
Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me at all because I saw with my own eyes during the State of the Union. And I've watched President Biden numerous times, and it looked like he might have taken something that a focusing type drug.
What kind of drugs could he be taking in your mind?
I don't know. Adderall, I have no idea. I'm not even going to speculate.
If you could prescribe him with anything, what do you think he should have?
I have no idea, Stephen. You know what? I wouldn't prescribe somebody a drug before some kind of a forum like this tonight. I think that's doing a very great disservice to the American people. They don't want a leader that has to take drugs to sharpen them or improve their memory or anything else, even make them look better. I don't think they need, unless it's something for their health, to give them an improved health, blood pressure or something like that. I don't think it's justified to be able to have to take drugs before a debate like this.
He's been away at Camp David preparing for this debate for the last 7 days. What kind of consequences does that have for the American people when their president isn't actually doing the job he's supposed to do?
Well, it takes him right off the job. It's just kind of like down at our border. The cartels, they utilize the same thing. They'll run some folks across the border. They'll take that means our border patrol has to put more personnel in a certain area on the border, and guess what? The cartels then run the drugs over in an area that is understaffed. And so when you take our leader off the job for that many days, that leaves us without somebody to really man the store. And this is I understand reality. He is preparing, but quite frankly, look at the difference between what Biden has been doing, closeting himself in this gigantic studio or whatever it is he's in, compared to what President Trump is doing, going out and really preparing for the debate by finding out what people want, what they like, what they don't like, what are their great concerns. An economy that has nearly a 20% inflation rate in 3.5 years, a wide open border where you have 10 million plus illegal aliens coming across, many of them from hotbeds of terrorism and concern, many of them criminals coming across in my district just last week, or quite close to my district. We had a young girl, 12 years old, murdered by two Venezuelan illegal aliens when the president's policies are creating this problem. The inflation, the crime, the potential terrorism, you name it, the weakness on the foreign stage. These are all caused by the policies of this president and his administration. We got to have somebody that's a lion. We don't need a sheep to be leading this great country.
You talk about the border and you talk about the terrorist threat. Recently, we saw, I think, 8 members or affiliated members of ISIS arrested across the United States. Do you think that America could face another terror attack soon with this wide open border?
I think the likelihood there is huge. I think it's more likely to have a terrorist attack under the policies of Joe Biden than what we've been seeing under President Trump. He tamped down the potential terrorism that we would have been facing because our adversaries feared him. They feared the U.S. military. Under President Biden's weakness and vacillation and changing moods, quite frankly, the fact that he doesn't know night from day and can't string two sentences together, it makes him laugh and more apt and encouraged to do things that would be against American interests and our allies' interests as well.
How do you think the border might change if President Trump is elected in November?
It would change like night and day, Stephen. It's going to. We saw what happened during the first 4 years of President Trump. He had his border challenges, no question about it. In 2019, he had a big challenge down there, but he addressed that. He had a great, a staff that worked real hard to implement policies like Remain in Mexico and Title 42. He had interior enforcement. He deported folks that came in that were bad news. And quite frankly, this is exactly what we haven't been seeing under President Biden. President Trump, he wanted law enforcement. President Biden has taken funding away from police departments. We've seen a weaponized federal government being utilized against the citizens of the United States of America. And quite frankly, you would never have seen that under President Trump. They accused him of Russiagate, and they turned everything that's turned out to be a hoax that they've been after him for. And the same thing goes with the weaponization of DAs in New York and Georgia, federal government under Jack Smith, and a lot of these cases that are just so flimsy. And going after President Trump, and then while at the same time totally ignoring the mishandling of classified documents by President Biden, or withholding funding from Ukraine unless they fired an investigator investigating Burisma, the company that was paying his own son off. No, it's been a double standard, and I think the American people see that.
I'm assuming that you agree with President Trump when he says he wants to deport all illegal immigrants. But do you think that there are some legal immigrants who should also be deported? Some conservatives are making the argument that people who hate America, people who hate American values, they shouldn't be here, people like Islamic extremists and so on. Do you think that some legal immigrants should be deported from the United States?
I think if somebody's holding a visa and they're out rioting and creating violent disturbances, they are going against the mores and the principles of our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. Yes, I think those visas should be revoked, and those people should be returned to their home countries immediately. And I think most people agree that those are the people that are biting the hand that feeds them. Our immigration system should be for the benefit of the United States and the people. And it should not be for simply humanitarian purposes to open it up for anyone who wants to come in and join in at the feed trough, get a free telephone, free education, get free welfare, and everything else that goes along with our open border. That cannot be. And so, yes, and I will tell you this, when President Trump was on the Hill here and talking to the conference, the Republican conference of the House of Representatives just 2 weeks ago, I was sitting right there on the front row. I said, Mr. President, what are you going to do about the millions of illegal aliens that have come into this country? And he said, I'm going to deport them. And he got a round of very, very much applause. And I really appreciated what he said. I said, what are you going to do about the cartels? He said, we are going to fight them. The best friend the cartels have ever had have been Joe Biden Alejandro Mayorkas and the Democrat Party. We have enriched them, we have empowered them, and we have thrown the health and safety and our national security of the American people in our country to the wolves under this administration. It's high time that we change that.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
You bet, Stephen. Thank you. Great to meet you.